In its heyday, the hamlet of Wayne had a population of over 2,500 people, many of which were miners in local coal mines. There were two schools, a hospital, several stores, a hotel, and a saloon that miners affectionately dubbed the Bucket of Blood due to the large number of drunken brawls. Today, Wayne is a ghost town with less than 25 residents in the whole entire area, and it's become a tourist destination. Many people visit the Last Chance Saloon and the historic Rose Deer Hotel, but few venture past the historical markers. Cemeteries have always interested me. They tell a tale of a town and its people. This cemetery is located beyond the mine sites and sits atop the valley floor on a ridge overlooking the entire valley. To visit, you must take this old road up about 490 feet. Vehicles cannot make it up here, and it is prohibited to do so. In the summer, it can get scorching hot in the open in the Drumheller area. So bring plenty of water, sunscreen, and wear a hat. In winter, it is impassable as the snow gets very deep and it can get down into the minus 40s quite easily. So come with us as we hike up to this abandoned cemetery and see what is left behind and what stories there are to tell. Maybe we'll hear a whisper of the past. As you hike up to the top of this ridge, you'll notice there is an amazing view of the valley below and the ghost town of Wayne. Right there we see the Last Chance Saloon and also the Rose Deer Hotel. Now, if we keep panning over, you'll notice there's a couple little houses here. People do live in this area. Most of them work in Drumheller, but enjoy the outdoor activities here. Now, if we look the other way on this ridge, you'll notice that it is very dry up here, and there are wheat fields for miles and miles. There isn't much out here. There's a few outbuildings, a radio tower, and that's about it. It's a pretty lonely place. Now, there is no real trail going to the cemetery, but that kind of tree line bush area ahead of us, that's where the cemetery is. So you just follow the farmer's field here where his extent of his crop grows out, and you'll make it to the cemetery. You'll notice a little fence, and that's where you go through. Now, most of Alberta has been experiencing a really hard drought. Drumheller is no different. It's been really bad this year, so you'll notice that the grass is pretty yellowed, pretty crunchy, and there are a lot of cactuses about. Now, many of the people that were buried here were moved to the Drumheller Cemetery in town, but there still are a few people still interned here. This is one of the few actually standing tombstones that we could see. Now, this was an Italian who came to Canada probably to work in the mines. And you can see he didn't last very long. It is a very hard existence to live here and work in the mines. Now, most of the stuff here is just absolutely falling apart. The wood does not last very long. The burials here are recorded to have started in about 1918, but there's been some recordings of burials up on top of this ridge from about 1912 onwards. Now, it's kind of odd to have a cemetery so far up on top of a hill, but that is kind of tradition that Christians in Judo Christianity has. You are actually closer to heaven if you're buried on top of a hill. Plus, it allows for a lot of drainage, which cemeteries do need. And because the valley floor is a place where farmers would have crops, there would be a livelihood, it takes away from that land if you would have a cemetery down there. So this was an optimal place for burials. Now you can see this whole area was covered in burials. There's estimated to be about 100 to 150 burials that occurred here. Now, we found zero evidence of anybody actually visiting the cemetery besides curious adventurers. But there's no family members left, and nobody's taking care of this historical site. Many of these tombstones are kind of hidden in the brush and the bushes. Now, there has been burials as late as 1943, but those have kind of been questionable. We don't know if those were actually officially burials here. Sometimes a family would have a plot, and because it was abandoned around that time, the town basically just left the cemetery alone. So family members were, it was up to them to bury their own family member. So perhaps they did bury him up here. Maybe not. We don't know. Now, any family member that had any wealth would move their family member into a different cemetery. But remember, this was a coal mining town. Many of the people were very, very poor, hardworking people making very, very little. So they couldn't afford to move the bodies. Now, this tombstone was kind of an oddity. The part of the tombstone was actually on top of the tombstone, so I don't know if someone left it there, but it looked like it was dug out from the base of the tombstone. So this part actually fits into the base of the tombstone and was placed on top of the tombstone. It kind of makes no sense if someone did this on purpose because they took it out of the ground, forced its way out, and then put it on top of the tombstone. Now, I don't think an animal would do that. They might have dug it out, but they would have just left it right there. But just step in it yourself. Go the proper way. Grab something. So don't take those off with your fingers. A lot of people just try to peel them off. You will get poked. They are very sharp. So just grab some grass, use something to knock them off. Now we're going to leave the Rosedale area and the Wayne area. We're going to be following the 11 bridges back. So we're just going to take a short tour down this road, out of this Drumheller area, and back to what I call civilization. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this video, learned a little bit about Wayne and the ghost town and how to get to the cemetery. If you'd like to visit, just be very respectful to the area. Don't take anything, leave everything behind. And do let me know about that kind of tombstone at the end, because that was kind of strange to see a piece kind of placed on top of it instead of in its normal resting area. So thank you very much, and I hope you like this video. Just click like on it if you do, and of course subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys later.